Hi there. Thanks for stopping by. Today I'm going to read a short passage from the book Sage Leadership. And the particular passage is about leading with credibility. In the book, I cover 18 different important factors to lead with, leading with credibility being one of those critical factors. People have to take us seriously. When we speak, we want to be listened to. All right? When we teach, we want to be paid attention to. We want an open mind receiving it. We'll only be open and we'll only be received well if we have credibility, if people trust us and believe us and think we have something important to say. So I'm going to share an example here from the book and then comment on it just a little bit more. So Chapter 9, Leading with Credibility. It essentially starts with a quote from Gandhi, a very famous quote you've certainly probably heard, but it's be the change you want to see in the world. All right, exemplify it, embody it. All right, that's a critical component to credibility, to leading with credibility. So the book continues. When it comes to leadership, people appreciate the real deal. We want to follow someone who knows what they're doing, someone we can believe in and trust to do the right thing. There is a strong attraction to a leader who has been there, done that, someone who walks the talk. I was fortunate to work for such a person early in my management career. It was 1987, and the company I was working for had just been acquired by a large French company. Following the acquisition, a new general manager for the North American operations was hired after an extensive search. I was very curious to meet my new boss and learn from him. He asked me to call him JP, short for Jean-Pierre. JP had spent the last 10 years working for Michelin in the United States, learning about French-American integration and corporate culture and world-class performance. He also spent many years working in France, Spain, and South Korea. What intrigued me most about JP was his quiet demeanor, inquisitive style, and acute awareness. He had a very Socratic style about him, answering questions with deeper questions and inspiring people to think. He was also highly disciplined, competent, and very attentive to people. A typical morning for JP would include arriving at our main facility at 6 a.m., to walk the grounds and the factory floor for an hour while the night shift was still on. He would then observe the shift change and spend another hour in the plant. Some would say he was very visible, with great presence. By 8 a.m., when most of the office personnel were arriving, JP would be ready to discuss observations with the management team. There was no pulling the wool over his eyes. I found this to be a very powerful and compelling leadership technique. He had 2 hours of current data each day to question and discuss. His leading questions were quite profound, and his credibility was enormous. He knew what he wanted, and he challenged the management staff anytime he observed any misalignment or neglect. JP would then spend the majority of the day working with the management team on strategy, execution, and measurement. We had to be accountable for what we planned to do and how well we carried out the plan. Doing the right thing and doing the right things right was a top priority. Attention to detail was critical. Attention to detail. What happens when we don't know the facts? What happens to our credibility? Somebody asks us for information that we should have at our fingertips, and our response is we don't know. Think of it like a meter. All of a sudden, that credibility meter is pointing south. Our credibility just dipped. Okay, so one of the tips I want to leave you with today is pay attention to detail. Get the facts. It's one of the first questions I ask as a consultant when I go into a business. If they tell me, John, we have a problem, I'll say, prove it. People are like, what do you mean, prove it? Prove it. Show me the data. Prove you have a problem. What do you mean? I'm telling you we have a problem. Just show me the data. What are the measures? And because what I don't want to do is spend a lot of time and money and effort chasing ghosts, so to speak, solving problems that aren't really problems at all. I'm looking for a baseline. I'm looking for facts and data. It's from that baseline. Now we can know whether or not we have a problem, and we can know whether or not we solve that problem by measuring against that baseline. That's just one tip of many on how to gain credibility. It's a critical leadership characteristic. Great leaders have great credibility. Well, that's it for today. I'm John Murphy. I'm here to help. Thank you, and God bless.